Hi, my name's Michael Tulip and I'm from Philips Signage Solutions, and I'm here today to show you our interactive solution with its features and benefits, but also to explain why more teachers today, from primary through to HFE, are choosing our solutions to help benefit their teaching. Over the last 10 years, I've been working with interactive whiteboards, and there's been a lot of pitfalls in the past. What I would like to do now is explain some of the pitfalls and how the Philips screen can actually be more benefit for that. In the past, interactive whiteboards worked with a projector. When a projector was shown on a screen, it doesn't always fill that image, meaning that you may have a 77-inch interactive whiteboard, but you may be only using 60 inches of that image because the actual projector was inside of that, which meant that it wasn't fully interactive at that point. The benefits of the Philips touchscreens are that our 65-inch LED screen is actually 65-inch. It's not a 50-inch or a 55-inch where you've seen before with projectors. It actually fills the full image, so it means that you actually get 100% of the image that you pay for. Sometimes a projector can lose its brightness. The main reason behind that is it has an optics on the LCD range, which means that dust is blown inside of it. When dust gets blown inside of the image, you get a very faint image like this. The benefits of the Philips range is that our screens have a 50,000 hour lifespan, meaning that compared to a projector which has 3,000 hours, which means that your screen will last for a longer time, which means that the investment is a better investment because you're not replacing equipment on a 3-year basis. You'd be looking plus 10 years for a solution like this. Other issues in the past has been the shadow effect. The effect of the shadow on the screen, so that when you put your hand in front of the screen, a shadow appears behind. There's no alien piece of equipment projecting onto it. When I touch the screen, I touch here, and there's no shadow. So I don't have to pointers, sticks, or any sort of third-party device to be able to interact with the screen with not being in front of it. Again, if you've got autistic children or anyone that's a low-confident learner, you want to make sure that when they touch the screen, their first-time experience is really important. And by using one of our screens, when they touch, it appears where they touch, and the confidence level is a lot higher with the first-time experience. What we also have again, and what we've tried to eradicate, is the calibration. Interactive whiteboards can be calibrated sometimes 5-6 times a day, maybe 2-3 times a week, depending on how they're installed. Because when the board is banged, the projector doesn't know where it is. And with our screens, because it's a fully integrated solution, the benefit is that there's no calibration, so that it comes out of the box, you plug it in, and it's ready to go. It knows where your finger is. So the days of calibration have disappeared. Another important issue we've overcome now with our Philips professional displays are driver issues. We've been able now to actually have a screen that out of the box, first-time experience requires no drivers. So unlike old technology in the past where you've had to install a specific driver for a specific operating system and then maybe run a calibration utility behind it, with the Philips displays, because they're HID compliant, you can use them straight away with a Windows-based, Mac-based or a Linux-based system, meaning that straight out the box you have a great first-time experience. We also have seen that filters in the past with projectors has become a bigger and more common problem, meaning that because there's external filters inside of a projector, you have to keep taking them out, cleaning them, even hiring maybe a maintenance company at a cost to the establishment to keep cleaning that projector. We've been able now not to stick any external filters inside of our screens, which means that straight away you have the benefit of not having to do that, which means that the screen itself, because there's no dust particles flying through these external parts, does not deteriorate as quick as a projector would, which means the quality of the image will remain as you see today. Our Philips Professional Range series have a Next Windows technology built inside of the screens, which means that you can use 5 independent touches on the screen at the same time. And to interact with the screen, it's as simple as literally touching the screen. So when I touch the screen, the camera tracks my movement of my finger, which performs a left click. So I have full interaction of a normal screen by just touching it, like you would with a left click of a mouse. To perform a right click, you hold down, and you hold down for 3 seconds, and it performs a right click. When I let go of the screen, it has performed the right click option for me. So I have full functionality of a mouse and how you'd normally use a mouse by just touching the screen with just my fingers. You can use anything you want to interact with the screen because it is not capacitive technology. It works through camera, so anything used on the screen can be used to interact. So if you wanted to use a paintbrush, you can use a paintbrush and draw on the screen. What's also nice about the Philips screen is that it's a 5-point touch optical screen, so that when you touch the screen, with one finger appear, for 2 fingers, for 3 fingers, for 4 fingers, and for 5 fingers. So you can see how many independent touches can be controlled at the same time. So if you're working in a small group or one-to-one with a child, you're able to both work on the screen at the same time. So someone could be working on this part of the screen while working at that part of the screen. So you have the flexibility if you're working one-to-one. What's also nice, because it's a 4-camera technology screen, when you're able to write over the screen, it doesn't lose trackment. Whereas if you were to use a 2-point touch screen or a 1-point touch screen, you wouldn't be able to have that benefit. So it doesn't lose tracking when you cross over, because the 4 cameras will independently track when moving around the screen. And behind our screens, we have up to 50% power consumption savings against our competitors with the technology that we use inside of our range. We're not just happy with that, what we also have is a free piece of software we've included with all our screens now, which gives you the ability to make even more savings on electricity. The piece of software is simple as this. Once you double click it off the desktop, it appears here. And when it's on the desktop, each one of our screens that is connected with a network cable will appear down the left-hand side. If you have multiple sites, you can group them as well. So you could have primary school, secondary school, lower years, older years, so that you have more control of different areas if they're remotely from the site. Once the screen's connected, you also have to see the power consumption and how much screen is being used on that day. And also what you get is how many hours a day it's being used, so that you can actually gauge if your equipment's being used. Once you make that investment into a classroom, is that teacher using it? How long are they using it for? On top of this again, you've got different controls of the screen. So all the menu options inside of the screens appear in this piece of software. So when installing a lot of screens, it's very easy to have the screens come on during the day, but at night time it's very hard to get all the screens turned off. What we're able to do with this piece of software is remotely turn them all off. So at night time you can be guaranteed that there's no screens running and drawing power from the school. Inside of the control options, you have the ability to turn them on and off. You have the ability to change the video source. You have the ability to change the volume of the screen here as well. We also have the options to change the brightness. So again, if it's a bright day in the school, maybe the screens need to be turned up that day. Maybe they need to be turned down because it's not so bright. You have the option again to disable a touch feature, so that again, if there's certain classroom environments where the screen's not going to be used interactively, you can disable that feature so that the screen is used purely as a display screen. You can also change the screen to auto signal detection, which means that if any of the sources are connected to the screen will automatically boot up and it will automatically boot down when the PC is turned off. Again, power saving behind that. All the screens that are connected here can be all remotely turned on and off. So again, the network manager at the end of the day can turn all the screens off without any power consumption. Another nice feature of our screen is that it has the ability to open legacy items. So on side of the screen here, by clicking down this menu, you're able to see that it'll open a notebook file and it'll also open an IWB file. So any legacy equipment you've got in the past, you're able to open that and it'll bring it across in its native format. It won't just screen capture the page, it'll keep it as it was created and prepared in the previous file format. One of the benefits of the screen is that as well as being able to use it as a pen, highlight and flip chart tool, you're also able to use some of the nice features inside of it. One of these nice features is the shape recognition. So drawing an item on the screen, it'll recreate that shape. Once on the screen, you also have the ability then to make it around the screen, make it bigger, make it smaller, and if you wanted to, rotate the item because it's completely multi-touch. So you don't have to worry about dragging these corners anymore. The software is fully designed to work with your latest touchscreen. Again, in young years, if you're using a clock to tell the time, once the clock is on the screen, the children can quickly come up to the screen and tell the time with you. So if you said to the children, what time is it? You can bring it down here. The children can come up onto the screen and actually show that in an education environment so that they can come up to the screen and quite simply move it to the time that they